Hello everyone, Ertaç here. With this second video of mine, I'm going to try to tell you guys who I am, where the hell I did get the idea of creating some Game of Thrones related fan arts, why am I doing this kind of works, am I really working that hard to create some content which means maybe nothing for the community, or are these pieces nothing more than my pure wild speculations? Am I mad? Or am I the biggest troll of all times? Well, it seems we'll figure it out. Let's get into it. Well, in 1981, Gönül and Rüstem from House Altınöz had their third prince in Balıkesir. Yeah, here, Balıkesir is the city which has most islands with numbers in Turkey. But ironically, the city itself has no cost to seawater. So my parents decided to move to Izmir on my first name day, which is one of the most prettiest cities in Turkey, which has many intellectual people. I and my two older brothers raised in Izmir, and I went to Anatolian Fine Arts High School here in Izmir too. Seven hells! What a marvelous school it was! Look at me, yeah, with lots of hair. This one. Well, then I went to Istanbul and I educated cinema and television with a master's degree at Marmara University. After school, I realized the only profession that my heart really beats with is drawing, not that camera junk. Now, I work here from my home office as a freelancer, close to Ayvalık, Edremit and Kaz Dağları, as you guys may know with name Mount Ida, with the incident between Achilles Hephaestus and Scamandros, the lands close to Çanakkale where Trojan battles happened. Of course, this is not the whole story, but let's get back to my addiction to Game of Thrones. Just like some of you guys, first I've seen TV show before I became a book reader. I was knowing A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin mostly from cover of the Turkish edition of A Game of Thrones by one of my friends, Kerem Beyt. I always admired this series, since I think it's a very good reference to fantasy worlds with a historical feeling. Then someday, while on a bus, I suddenly saw Peter Baelish blowing up the wall. In my mind at least. Really don't know where I came up with that idea, but the idea of the visual was very tempting for me. At first I was like, I should do maybe 5 pieces, which will depict the endgame with my hopeful expectations. But this is another story for another time. Yeah, this is the one. This is the very first piece I've done as a fan art for Game of Thrones before Season 5 Episode 9, The Dance of Dragons. I know. This is something too good to be true. Still, look at that. By Season 5, showrunners decided to fasten Tyrion's story arc majorly. I was knowing some theories about him. He was close to Daenerys, as close than ever. And now A trailer was showing me a huge stadium which a dragon can easily fit. Well, when I got the pieces together with Tywin's last verse on TV, what should have I expected? I was knowing pretty well the case after Drogon shows up at Death's Next Pit by A Dance with Dragons. And still, I had a strong suspicion on Tyrion's existence next to Daenerys. As we know, they even haven't had a single conversation in the books yet. Yeah, this baby's from the other and that baby's from another kind of theories are a bit too much already. But there is a strong belief between many fans that Tyrion may be a secret Targaryen. It is a completely different story, so I have to pass for now. All I can say is, I was kinda convinced that it may be, just may be the case, at least with TV show. Even though Tyrion didn't have any dragon dreams on TV, maybe writers decided to choose a shortcut to point out Tyrion's Targaryen roots by going with an idea to burn at least Tyrion's clothes, as it happened with Daenerys in the books. And the issue with Targaryens being fireproof or not has very well described by George R.R. Martin himself already. So even if they were immune to fire, and Tyrion were a Targaryen, well, fire seems it has less meaning on pointing out people's lineage usually. But don't allow this to affect your judgment yet. See? As someone who was well aware of these cases, I still wanted to depict an unburnt Tyrion in flames. That doesn't mean I am a strong believer of Tyrion not to be Tywin's son. You know, as an illustrator, one of your most concerns should be telling a story with your pieces. And while trying to do that, you don't have infinite ways of narration. The purpose of this image was pointing out Tyrion's possible connection with Targaryens, and visually, fire was the best datum to create this illusion. It seems the reason of Tyrion's seat next to Daenerys in Death's Next Pit was something to make him a believer sooner, which TV show has limited time wait than the books. Let's go on with the second piece of fan art I've done mostly for TV show. Here is Lady Stoneheart. No need to introduce her, you know. But if there's still someone out there who doesn't know what's going on with Catelyn Stark here, well guys, only God knows how many times we who knew about her wished for her appearance on TV. I am a true admirer of this woman. Caring, daring, a true mother. I know some of you guys may have some hard feelings for Catelyn. But as a true lover of Michelle Fairley, some part of me always wanted to see her on TV again. I still think that it's a terrible opportunity to miss by visually at least. But depending on showrunners' announcements, maybe it's really better to keep her out of screen. I love misery, beliefs, entities and all magical elements in Game of Thrones, but I think I'll be happier if they continue keeping miracles happening as minimum as they can. So after drawing the Dance of Dragons, it was too inevitable for me to draw Lady Stoneheart as soon as I realized the title of Season 5 Episode 10, Mother's Mercy. Now I can admit I really had some hopes that she may appear in season finale. But nope, she was gone. And you know what? I like doing something like I mean it. If I decided to draw a Lady Stoneheart interpretation, I'd like to feel that if I were really seeing her on TV. Editing a photo of Michelle Fairley with cheap Photoshop tricks with crappy red scars on her face is really not something working with me. And finally showing the image to you guys in full resolution, which you can never see somewhere else on net. Really feels great. Lady Stoneheart was the first piece which I started to gain some recognition amongst both books and TV show fans, and she brings some good memories back. Well, I guess for now that's enough. I really don't want these videos to last longer than 10 minutes. So I hope we will meet again with second part of this video next week. Thank you so much, dearly. Well, that's the story. I may be the craziest fan of the A Song of Ice and Fire book series and Game of Thrones TV series. You know, I've done nearly 80 pieces of fan arts in this year, and I'm planning to do some more. I don't know if someday someone from original material can come up with one of my pieces, or if they ever notice that there's a guy here sitting in front of his computer with less sleep but with much passion and desire to create something for this series. And even if they won't, you guys are still something that I couldn't imagine. Your shares, likes and retweets, etc. Your all support is really priceless to me. I really don't know if someday I may be able to draw something for calendars or maybe role-playing games of Game of Thrones in the future, officially I mean. But the thing I know is I will try to do my best as I can. In the end, all we know is Volado Iris.